Shalom Israel. First and foremost, I do want to give all praises, all honor, and all glory to Yahweh Ba'ashem Shabbat Kadash, the one to the apostles, and else great millstone for teaching us his true peace and blessings. To the whole of Israel, Yahweh is the name of the Father and Hebrew, Ba'ashem is the name, Yahweh Shah is the name of the begotten Son. Back in the lesson, as you see within the title, divine intervention will be needed. The Lord is, quite literally, going to step in. With everything this devil's getting ready to come down with, the robots, super soldiers, these Iron Man-like suits of armor, these exoskeleton suits, and all these various weapons and things that they have, that power, that spiritual power, will be needed. And it's within the scriptures for a reason, as Isaiah 19, going to that standard being lifted against our enemy. Because if you go, to the first part of the verse, it's going to tell you to come down as a flood. Also speaking of Revelation 12 and 12, going to this great wrath this devil is trying to come down with. So we're coming to times that have never been seen before. So how chaotic it's really going to get out here. But the Lord's also going to, protect and defend his elect in these last days. Obviously, through these miracles and these, great things the Lord's going to do, but also through this spiritual power, which once again will most definitely be needed. So the Lord's going to, level the playing field, and really it's going to tip the scale, because nothing this devil has will prevail, against the Lord, the angels, especially his elect. So, got a couple of videos I do want to get, just I believe two of them. I believe I also saw one of the brothers make a lesson, going to one of these videos I actually got. So, that's the spirit. Cause I saved these, saved these yesterday. But I waited to go into it. But got a couple scripts after that, and that'll be the point.
It says first time in public, and as you can see, its walk is pretty natural and pretty.
And I think if they're showing you this in the public eye, people are actually able to, buy these things, and they all showcase these things at events, like for example, you've seen with Elon Musk and his robots, things that they could do. And
smooth. We've partnered with our sister organization, the Robotics and AI Institute, to push the limits on natural walking just for this performance, and I think we've done something really special. We've also been at this robotics thing for a while, and we've learned that there's more to it than just copying nature. We can pick the best parts of what nature has to offer and do better in others. So as you can see, Atlas here has joints that can move 360 degrees. This lets Atlas move even more efficiently than humans, particularly in manufacturing environments where every second counts. We've also designed Atlas.
So there it goes. They do that little nugget in there to go to show, hey, soon people are no longer going to be needed at these jobs. As you already see, mass layoffs dealing with FedEx, Amazon. Soon robots, AI is going to be taking
head and face very purposefully. We want folks working with Atlas.
See these comments have to say. People not taking it serious. This person, put a Terminator image. That's pretty much getting ready to happen. It's you always see what's in these movies, and really that's just going to show their plans, things they want to do. But you always see what's in these robot-like movies, AI movies. Why it's a bad idea. It always ends up going wrong.
And we had to show you this extraordinary.
And this is the main video I was speaking of right here.
Video out of China. Chinese state TV broadcast this footage of humanoid robots doing kung fu at their Spring Festival gala. We had to triple check this wasn't fake, but the robots are real and may.
And once again, that power will be needed, man, because once you look at everything this devil has and things he's especially getting ready to come down with, because it comes last days, and when it all stops, he'll say F it. Because he knows the time's running out.
By robotics company Unitree. They are powered and programmed by, you guessed it, AI.
You can also, see militaries also, doing your tests with these robots, bringing them to shooting ranges and all this type of stuff. Robot dogs, or similar to, I guess, robot horses, I guess, able to carry immense amount of weight, a lot of weaponry and basic things. They have things like that already. And which these are the things that are shown to the public eye. You can imagine, what they have behind the scenes that they're not showing you. But of course, it doubles you a little taste of what he has in store. And it's just an example of what's to come, as you saw within these two videos we got. Case in right here says, yeah, we're effed. Hey, there you go. Look at this. Wealthy Ute says, imagine the technology they're not showing us. There you go. That's plain. That is plain. But let's get into these scriptures, and also typed up divine intervention. And it says divine intervention is the active involvement of a deity in human affairs, altering the course of events through miraculous acts. And the Lord's going to step in, man. I made that point earlier, and the Lord's quite literally going to, tip the scale, level the playing field. But a higher power like God or a deity directly interferes in human affairs or worldly events, often seen as a miracle or an unexplainable fortunate turn of events that alter the situation or guides individuals. So once this devil thinks he has you in his grasp, he has you in a corner, and you have nowhere to go, the Lord's going to flip that switch, man. The tables will be turned, and which we hope and pray that we're of, that hopeful elect the Lord's will. But Revelation 12:12, you can see scripts at hand. And it's therefore rejoice in the heavens, and ye that dwell in them, woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is coming unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. In which you can see and find various examples of these robot showcasings, robot dogs soon to patrol the streets, which you're already pretty much seeing that. Robots in a little car form, driving on the sidewalks, especially delivering food. This is what you're getting ready to see a lot more. And actually, there's a video. Because this dude was sitting in a park, and you had someone that was controlling a robot dog. Pretty much told him to leave. So they have these things already, And as they made that point earlier, you can imagine what they have behind the scenes. Things are not showing you. And really, they show you within movies, cartoons, TV shows, of things that they got. But Isaiah 59:18, or Jeremiah 30, and I'll get Isaiah 59. But it says, the last 5 days great, so none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. Say we're coming to that time of Jacob's trouble. Really, we're in it now. But you're only seeing the beginning of it. It's only going to pick up. We're going to go back to the top of the verse. The last for that day is great, so that none is like it. Times like never before. Showing you how horrific it's really going to get. And further going to show the importance of being under the hedge and protection of Yahweh Bashmel Shai. But that last part says, but he shall be saved out. The Lord is going to deliver and protect his elect into these coming times. This is Isaiah 59:19. His soul shall fear the name of the Lord from the west, and his glory from the rising of the sun. When the enemy shall come in like a flood, the Spirit of the Lord shall lift up a standard against him. So this devil's going to come down as that great wrath, or he'll come down with that great wrath as that flood. And I always like to use the example of this movie Code 8. Definitely recommend watching this. It's a spiritual movie, especially deals with spiritual power. But in that movie, they created robots in order to combat and go against these people that had these supernatural abilities. Using these robots to kick down doors, to try to capture and get these people. One particular scene where they had robots, and obviously policemen with them, as well as drones, hovering above this complex, trying to capture the person that they wanted to get inside. So once that let's rush the reads real quick and I'll make that point. It says, when the enemy shall come in like a flood, the Spirit of the Lord shall lift up a stand against. So when this devil thinks he has you in his grasp, when he thinks he has you cornered, when he thinks he's got you got, and the Lord's going to flip that switch. Matthew 24 and 21 through 22, further adding to what we just read in Jeremiah 30. But it says, for them should be great tribulations, such as would not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor ever shall be. So just further expound that point of the times that we were coming into, just how hectic, how chaotic, how bad it's going to get. It's one thing to speak on these things, but to be holding a story when you're actually in the midst of it. So I to be, doom prepping in the spirit, getting right, with the Yahweh Shema Shai, preparing your mind, your spirit. So in the scripture, you make diligence to make calling sure, work on your own salvation with fear and trembling, praying, put your faith and trust in Yahweh Shema Shai. Because you have a lot of people that's going to, bug out in these last days, man, freaking out. This is why you especially get throughout these various scriptures. Isaiah 33:6, Psalms 91 also goes into it, how the truth shall be thy shield and buckler. And also Isaiah going to the wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times. Now it says, and except those days should be shortened, there shall no flesh be saved, but for your elect's sake those days shall be shortened. So the Lord shall not hasten those days for his elect. This is why you're literally seeing the days flying by. We're already nearing the 3rd month of this year. The Lord is picking things up, man. And we're seeing various end time signs, and this especially being one of them. And one thing we're speaking of Esau, even here the devil the Bible speaks of, nothing good can come from this. They show you in the movie I, Robot. Of, just how bad it can get with all these robots, control with AI and all this types of stuff. But doing Shemar voices on. Okay. Let's start real quick. Here. Now let's get 2 Timothy 3:1. It says, it's not also that in the last days perilous times shall come, so troublesome times are ahead. Other translations go into difficult. So difficult, terrible, troublesome times are fastly approaching. And as I made the point earlier, it's why it's so important to be under the hedge and protection of Yahweh Shema Shai. Because the Lord is especially going to be using this devil as that sword, as you get in Psalm 17. But now we're going to go into the spiritual power. Isaiah 41, or 40 and 31. And it says, but they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint. So when you see a bird, or in this case dealing with an eagle, when they mount up their wings, what does that mean? They're preparing to take flight. So the ability to fly. They shall run, not be weary, not be able to get tired. They shall walk, not faint. Also, other scriptures go into that super speed. Literally creating sparks, among the stubble. Have you seen the CW movie, or not CW movie, CW show Flash, or just animation, whatever the case may be? When you see these characters run so fast, they create sparks, on the ground. From how fast they're moving. These are the things that the elect of the Lord of Yahweh Shema Shai are going to be able to do. And once we hope and pray that we're of that number, Lord's will. And these are the basic, powers. You get in the scriptures how, greater works than these, shall you do. So things you can't even think of right now, man. Got a couple more. This is Luke 10:19. It says, behold, I've given to you power to tread on serpents and scorpions and over all the power of the enemy, and nothing shall by any means hurt you. And the Lord's going to show you true power in that day. This devil thinks he's got power now, which he does. But the Lord's going to show you true power. Now, this power the devil has right now is from Yahweh Shema Shai, and he's getting ready to take it away. You're going to see a paradigm shift. Isaiah 54:17, it says, no weapon that is formed against thee shall prosper, and every tongue that shall rise against thee in judgment thou shalt condemn. This is the heritage that serves the Lord, and the righteousness of me, saith the Lord. Said Yahweh Shema Shai. So no weapon is be able to work. If you can see, things that they have now, the things that they've publicly showed, they're having a laser platoon and all these different types of weaponry, helmets now that they're able to use to see through walls. And if they're showing this to the public, you can imagine what they have behind the scenes. You have a helmet to see through walls, literally. It's not a joke. They got this type of stuff. And it's also just goes to show how, also Isaiah 4:1 is going to take place where, 7 women shall take hold of one man. How do you think? They're able to, defend and protect, their household and, all those that are going to be, with him. In the midst of, chaos erupting, all hell, breaking loose. Obviously, Lord performing these miracles, doing great things, but also through that spiritual power. Because once again, this power is not just going to be given for no reason. This is Psalm 144:1. As a psalm of David, blessed be the Lord my strength, which teacheth my hands to war, and my fingers to fight. And as you know, David was a mighty man. And Scripture going to how we're going to be, like that. Shall be as David. And you also get out of the Scriptures, thou worm Jacob. Going to show this, lowest state, this low position that we're in now. Because a worm is pretty much a prey to everything. But as I made that point most times already, the Lord's going to tip that scale, man. You will see, men with spiritual power, man. If you thought Superman himself, just one, was a problem, imagine 144,000 of them. Supermen. Matter of fact, Kal-El, in the Hebrew, I believe goes into, all power, if not all powerful, if I'm correct. They know what they're doing. They show you in the show Invincible. There's one particular scene where they're trying to, take out this, Superman, like figure in that show. Using this dude, this direct energy weapon from the sky, from space. And on that satellite, it had 144 on it. So this devil knows what's up. What do you think he's preparing for? What do you think these robots are being created? Why do you think they're spending, billions of dollars training soldiers deep underground, building these bases? You also see Jeremiah 16:16, which I actually forgot to grab that. And I actually read this, but it says, behold, I'll send for many fishers, say the Lord, who those fishers, the prophets, the men of the Lord. And they shall fish them, and afterward I'll send for many hunters, and they shall hunt them from every mountain, and from every hill, and out of the holes of the rock. So soon those fishers will be turned into those hunters. So you're going to have this, they'll try to flee in these bunkers, these caves, etc. And then it'll be taken right up right out of them. This is Zechariah 12:8-10. It says, in that day shall the Lord defend the inhabitants of Jerusalem. Hey, the Lord's going to defend his elect, man. As I made that point, obviously, through these miracles, hey, the Lord's going to do great things, man. And the Lord, you can teleport you out of a situation, have the angels defend you, because that's what you're also getting ready to see. You may have angels, manifest themselves in front of you. But also going to defend and protect, his elect via that spiritual power, man. And the Lord could also use his elect to, perform miracles, just do healing, all types of stuff. And the Lord, nothing is too far out for Yahweh Bashmel Shai. And he that is feeble among them at that day shall be as David, and the house of David shall be as God, as the angel of the Lord before them. Actually, did I grab that? Actually, no, I didn't. Okay. Let's see. Actually, that's fine. It's really the main point I wanted to get was that first verse. But Psalms 18:34-36. Now, it's just kind of adding on what we read in Psalm 144. And it says, he teacheth my hands to war, so that a bow of steel is broken by mine arms. And what would be the modern day bow today? Just done with the weaponry. You have this, Devil has his assault rifles, and various other types of weaponry. That's gonna be nothing to the Lord's elect, because you'll see within shows, cartoons, movies of superheroes. They'll snatch the weapon from the enemy's hands and just break it with their grip. But thou hast also given me the shield of thy salvation, thy right hand hath holding me up, and thy gentleness had made me great. Thou hast enlarged my steps under me, that my feet did not slip. So it's going to show without the Lord, David acknowledging that it would be through. But that's the point right there. Just a somewhat quick lesson. Going to these robots, things the devil's getting ready to come down with, as well as what the Lord is getting ready to do for those that believe, those that endure, those that remain faithful, which is his elect. Okay, the Lord's going to reward those that endure, as in the scriptures, and the Lord's a rewarder of them that diligently seek him, roughly paraphrasing. So that spiritual power is coming. So those that want to mock and scoff now, want to laugh now, you won't be laughing later. I'll tell you that. But that's the point right there. I do close out, give all praise, all honor, and all glory to Yahweh, Ba'Shem, Al Shabbat, Shem Kakadash, Shalom, see you next one, Lord's will.